After completing this lesson, you'll be able to understand match lines, understand legend views, and create a legend view. The objective domains covered are 3.1c, create legend views, 3.1e, use a match line, and 4.1h, use duplicate views. When a view is split, a match line indicates the location where the split takes place and allows the user to match the views when placed on sheets. A match line is used in conjunction with dependent views. A view reference can then be added either side of the match line to indicate which sheet the detail is placed onto. Legend views are used to produce a schedule of elements shown in drawings. A typical legend may contain the following items: annotation legend, model symbol legend, line style legend, materials legend, and phasing. So typically the annotation legend will display things such as section heads, elevation markers, symbols, and many other annotation elements. Model symbol legends can be built up out of things like walls, beams, or perhaps even things like pile caps. Line style legends will show the line types and styles that have been used in the drawing. The materials legend will simply show swatches and samples of materials in section. And finally, the phasing will use a colour representation of construction phases to match your phasing graphical overrides. Go ahead and open up the model 027 Duplicating Views Part 2. The model opens up in the top of Foundation Structural Plan. You'll notice that this particular plan has two dependent views: the Eastern Foundation Plan and the Western Foundation Plan. Our first task is to create a match line to show where the split is on the plan. To do this, select the View ribbon and then select Match Line. In this example here, I'm simply going to draw the match line down grid 5. And we can then go ahead there and click Finish Edit Mode. So the match line is now created. To make it a little bit more prominent on the view, I'm going to change the colour and thicken up the line type. To do this, I'm going to utilise Visibility Graphic Overrides. Again, on the View ribbon, select Visibility Graphics. In the Visibility Graphic Overrides dialog box, let's select Annotation Categories. And in the Annotation Categories, let's search for Match Line. As well as being able to control the visibility of match lines, we can override the graphical properties of these elements. Let's select Override. In the Line Graphics dialog, we can change the colour. Let's make this red. And we can change the line weight. I'm going to set the line weight to pen 10. I'll click OK and OK again. And we can now see our match line is much clearer on the plan. In the project browser, you'll notice that we have 3 drawing sheets created. Here we have S007, which is carrying the East Foundation GA, and S008 displaying the West Foundation GA. Let's go ahead and open up S007. So you'll see here that the Eastern Foundation plan's been added to the drawing sheet. And again, if we open up the West, you can see the Western one's been added to this sheet. Let's return back to our foundation plan. And now we're going to go ahead and add some view references to the match line. On the View ribbon, select View Reference. On the Context ribbon, you'll notice we've got a Target view. So here, I'm going to begin by making sure I place down the Structural Plan East. It's automatically carrying the view number and the drawing number. So I'll go ahead and place that here. I'll now repeat the command and set the structural plane to West, and now I can go ahead and place the West structural plane down. You'll notice that the detail number on the Western plane is W, so what I'm going to do here is now edit the detail number for the Eastern plane. To do this, we can just simply select the Eastern plane, and in the Properties palette you'll see the detail number is currently set to number 1. Here we'll type in E. And of course, our view reference automatically updates. Next, we create a legend for some walls. Before we create the legend, let's open up the 00 ground floor plan. On the ground floor plan, we'll see a core area over here, and you'll notice at the minute that all the walls appear to look the same. If I change the detail level to a coarse level of detail, you can now see that we have different colours being displayed. The colours are representing the construction process of these walls. For example, if I select one of these green walls here, and I select Edit Type, you'll notice here that the coarse scale fill pattern is set to solid and the coarse scale fill colour is set to green. Alternatively, if I select this blockwork wall here, and once again click Edit Type, you can see again here the coarse scale fill pattern is set to solid and the coarse scale fill colour is set to blue. So our task is to now create a legend view that we can then drop onto a drawing sheet. In the project browser, let's open up the sheet S001 ground floor GA. And again, you can see here that we're showing the same colours on this drawing here. To create a legend view, on the view ribbon, select Legend. Here we can name the legend view, so we'll call this one Wall Types. And we'll leave the scale 1/4 inch equals 1 foot and select OK. To place the legend components, I will first select the Annotate ribbon. And then I can go to the Detail component drop-down and select Legend component. On the options bar, I can select the family that I'd like to start displaying, as well as the view, whether it's a sectional view or in fact a plan view, and the sample length of my wall. I'm quite happy to have this at 3 foot. So I'll begin by placing my first legend component down. Now you'll notice straight away that the jump form wall was green on the sheet, but in this particular view it's grey. That's because our detail level must match what we've placed on the sheet, in this case coarse. Okay, so let's continue to place some more legend components down. So we'll go back to legend component, and here we'll select our RC wall 10 inch, our RC wall 12 inch, and also our blockwork wall with render. Now to annotate these, we simply use text. So I'm going to select text. We'll bring out a text window, and here we can type in RC jump formed wall. And now once we've got one in place, we can just simply hold the Control key down to copy and then edit. Okay, so we can now edit the text. So this one will be blockwork. And this one here was a RC 10 inch wall and RC 12 inch wall. Okay, so once we have our legend created, we can then open up the drawing view. So that's our ground floor plan. And we can simply drag and drop the view from the project browser onto the drawing. And there's our legend view on the drawing. You'll note that we have a viewport title shown. We'll select the legend and then say no title. And there's our drawing and legend complete.